Hey, David Letterman, you just finished your first 90-minute primetime special. What are you going to do now?
What am I going to do now? I'm going to Disney World.
Dave. No, Dave, you're not going to Disney World.
What do you mean, Biff? Of course I'm going to Disney World.
No, you've got to do another show tonight.
I do.
That's right. You do another show tonight, and then you come back and do another one tomorrow.
Yeah, but what about next week?
I'm afraid not, Dave. You've got to do shows next week and the week after that. You won't have any time off for quite a while.
No, I'm going to Disney World. I'm going to ride Space Mountain. I'm going to see the Country Bear Jamboree. And then I'm going to Gatorland. And then I'm going to Monkey Jump.
It's late night with David Letterman. Tonight, Chuck Norris, 4-year-old beauty queen Tina Brosius, comedian Jimmy Walker, and a visit from Chris Elliott Jr., plus Paul Schaefer and the world's most dangerous man. And now, a man who is mentioned no less than 28 times in the new Roxanne Pulitzer book, David Letterman.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the program, and what a show. Gosh, what a show. Right, Paul? Am I right? What a show. Exactly.
Gosh, what a show.
That's right. You know, ladies and gentlemen, something has been bothering me here lately, and let me get this off my chest. It's a figure of speech, of course. Nothing short of an X-ray would answer this, I guess, but does Mr. Peanut have a skeletal system? Thank you very much. Drive safely, everybody. Good night. We'll see you. Thank you very much. Oh, this is good. You know, this Sunday night on ABC, I believe. ABC. They have the Olympics. They have the Olympics in Calgary.
Mm-hmm.
Now, those would be the Olympics to have, don't you think, the Winter Olympics from Calgary? Because those are going to happen. They're just like a couple of time zones away. They're up north. In Calgary, a Canadian town, or is that the province? What's the, Manitoba, isn't
Calgary, Alberta.
Oh, I'm sorry, Calgary,
Alberta.
Alberta.
Is the province.
Alberta, yeah, and this is going to be the Winter Olympics. Now, NBC, they have the Summer Olympics.
Yeah.
Those will never see the light of day. So they might as well just take huge bushel baskets of $1,000 bills up to the top of this building and just do this and let them go. Because anyway, this Sunday night over on ABC, it's the first of a two-part TV movie. It's called Elvis and Me, and I was reading a little thing in TV Guide about the movie today, and the me refers to a quarter pounder with cheese. I didn't realize that. You know, ladies and gentlemen, the president of Iceland, I believe it's a woman.
Is that true?
I think so. I believe it's a woman.
So the Presidentress of Iceland.
That's right. That's right. No, it's the president, sir. It says right here on the jumbo comedy cards. So
Who is that? Who is that?
it's the president of Iceland is Vigdisfinn Bogatyr. And apparently, yeah, definitely a woman. So I think it is a woman's. That is a woman's name. Is in the United States right now. You know, this is interesting. I went to school with a Vigdisfinn Bogatyr. Couldn't be the same one. And yesterday, George Shultz was reportedly so upset at the outcome of the Contra aid vote last night that for just a fraction of a second, he was so upset that he actually had almost an expression on his face. That's how steamed that guy was. He was just, well, I like it. On the program tonight, let's, first of all, it's too late to, Hal, can you show me what the weasels over at Live at 5 are doing right now?
24 degrees.
The weather.
Sunday, partly 20.
The 5-day forecast
Monday,
over at Live at 5. Let's wait till we see, can we see Al Roker, Hal, their weatherman? All right, we're waiting on Al. We'll take a look at this, and then I'll tell you what's bothering. There's Al. Hi, Al.
Have to get up and see the weather. It's cold.
You know, I think Al and I have the same outfit on tonight, don't we? Chuck and Sue, Jack and Sue. I can't make a big deal out of this, but ever since we've been here, tonight earlier on this network, we had our big 6th anniversary show, and we needed to get all of the help we could to get a lot of people to watch this thing so I can stay in the business. And every year for 5 years, the people at Live at 5 would say, well, Dave, we'd like to have you come on and promote your anniversary show. This year, nothing. Not a call, not a card, nothing. And as a matter of fact, we understand that at the last minute they even had a guest cancel. But still, no, I couldn't come over there because they have Al Roker in that jumbo jacket he's got on with the clouds going by. What are they doing now, Hal, that's so damn important that oh, they're in a commercial. All right. There they are. Okay, they're... Yeah. So they've fixed the show up a little. All right. What? Whoa. Well, I'm sorry, but, you know, the least I can't get on the Today Show. I've been barred from the Today Show.
Well, are they on the air now? Live at 5, they're in a commercial now.
They're in a commercial now.
Why don't you just go over?
I can't go over because they're in a commercial and because, no, I can't.
Just go over.
What? Do what? They're in a commercial. It wouldn't do any good. We'd have to wait on them, so we'll do that. But I can't get on the Today Show anymore. You know, well, because of
certain fears.
Yeah, right, Brian. Have you seen Bryant Gumbel lately?
I haven't seen him recently.
He's really getting heavy. Have you seen him? Huh? I don't know. Well, let me see what they're doing now, Hal. Are they still in a... They're not there yet. Okay, let's just begin this. And Hal, you monitor what's going on over there at Live at 5 and let me know if there might be an appropriate time to go over and wreak some havoc. Anyway, on the program tonight, we have Chuck Norris and Tina Brocious, who is a 4-year-old beauty queen. This woman, not a woman, a tiny little 4-year-old girl, has won countless beauty pageant trophies and titles, and she is here. And also Jimmy Walker will be with us tonight, so it should be a pretty good show. So, excuse me, oh gosh, too much soda. Ladies and gentlemen, as that unmistakable music tells us, once again, it's time for another visit from the NBC Bookmobile. Here it comes. Bring it on in. Watch your feet over there, friend. Ladies and gentlemen, please say hello to the beloved library lady, Kathleen Ankers, and of course, gruff but lovable old Gus, the Bookmobile driver. Kids, nice to have you with us as always. Thank you very much. And, my gosh, it sounds like you've really been working on the Bookmobile. It seems like you've tuned it up a little, huh?
He's purring like a bloodthirsty jungle cat after the kill.
Well, that's certainly, oh, there it is, right there. That's certainly pretty impressive.
It's all in preparation for the upcoming battle of the network Bookmobile at Raceway Park.
Well, oh, there it is, John. It sounds awfully wonderful, and what a great way to promote young people reading more. I think that's a wonderful idea. And I hope you bring home the trophy.
Yes, so do we. Unfortunately, last year we were disqualified.
Oh, that's too
when
bad.
gruff but lovable old Gus playfully rammed the CBS Bookmobile and forced it into the wall, resulting in a hellish inferno of smoke and flame, punctuated by the horrible screams of the injured.
Oh, gosh, how awful, and also how lengthy. I hope that nothing like that happens this year, library lady.
We'll do what we have to do to win, David.
I'm distracted because of those weasels across the hall.
Oh.
Why don't you just take this thing over there? Could you get this in across the hall? We'll finish up here. Just take it across the hall. Screw them. All right, let's take a look at some of these brand new books right here, library lady. Thank you very much. Is this the first offering tonight?
Right.
Okay. You know, folks, for many years, Rand McNally has been a top name in road maps, and now they've come up with a unique new publication. It's the Rand McNally Scratch and Sniff edition. There it is. Let's see how this works. So just open it up here and give it a try. What do you just scratch anywhere on there like that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it's New Jersey. Okay, enough of that nonsense. Where's the next one? Oh, right here. Here it is. Here's a brand new sports book that captures all the raw emotion and the behind-the-scenes action of the 1987 football season. It's entitled, Wow, Free Cleats, Memories of an NFL Scab. Free Cleats, Memories of a Scab. If you were moved by the magnificent photographs of A Day in the Life of America or A Day in the Life of the Soviet Union, then you'll certainly be carried away by this brand new collection right here. Oh, there it is. It's called A Day in the Life of Norm Huber. That's right, 1,200 of America's finest photographers catch all the memorable moments in a typical 24-hour period of Norm Huber's life. Here, let's just take a look at some of these photos. There's Norm brushing his teeth and sorting his socks right there. There he is dozing a little bit, checking the TV guide, and ordering dinner, reading a book. Yes, it just seems to get funnier and funnier, doesn't it? Okay, fine. What are they doing at Live at 5, Hal?
They're in a tape piece, Dave.
What is the piece?
Oh, Tom Cruise. Something that...
Well, let's see Tom Cruise. Let's see Tom. Put him...
Of money. Martin Scorsese's sequel to The Hustler moved Tom Cruise to even greater
All right,
heights.
that's enough, Hal. Come on. This Bookmobile stuff is much better than that, isn't it? All right. You know, fans of Stephen King will want to buy this book. It's absolutely his creepiest and scariest one ever. It's called The Face in My Mirror by Stephen King. Got that Tom Cruise nonsense over here. Oh, the wrong one. You know, kids are fascinated by the world of grown-ups, and that's why they'll spend hours with this educational activity book. It's called the Touch and Feel Book of Hair Replacement. Let's open it up here. You see you have the weave. That would be the hair weave. Get an idea how that would feel. And here would be minoxidil. Pretty nice. And finally, my favorite, the implants. All right. How many more do we have, library lady?
2, I think.
Okay. Oh, this is a good one. This is a guy who has seen it all and heard it all, and now he's telling his story. It's a 1001 Ways to Misspell My Name by Paul Schaefer. There it is. Paul Schaefer. You have a lot of trouble with that, don't you, Paul?
I do, actually, yeah. All different ways.
Well, it should be cleared up right there in that lovely publication.
Let me keep that book.
All right. Is this one? You know, books like Above New York and Above Los Angeles present beautiful aerial photographs of their subjects. Well, here's the latest volume from that series. Excuse me while I clear my throat. It's called Above Larry Holmes. Yes, it's every bit as breathtaking. Let's take a look at some of these photos. There's Larry, just kind of out cold there. Did I get them all in there or not?
It's a must, though.
All right, let's see. Oh, final one here. And then when we finish this up, we're sending the Bookmobile into Live at 5. Just as fast as you can get it going. They didn't even call. They didn't even offer. They didn't even, it wasn't even a maybe, not even a last-minute kind of deal.
Drive this sucker over there.
Finally, if you're captivated by the magnolia-scented romance of the Old South, then this charming storybook should be in your home. It's Jimmy the Greek's Plantation Tales. Okay, kids. Thank you very much, Kathleen. Nice to see you. All right, guys. Good luck. Take it out of here. Hurt somebody. Watch it. Let's go. Just ram it. Ram the damn door. Okay, there they go. Go! All right, they're not even in the hallway yet. Can somebody open the door over there so they can get in? Yeah. Oh, yeah. The security guys are opening the door. Boy, is that a good sign? Look out, Jack! Run for your life, Jack! Oh, my God!
Still business hard. Stand
Get
up.
under the desk, Jack! There they go, there. All right. Are they in there now? All right, they're by the makeup room. And once again, the security guys opening the door. Highly trained SWAT team. Will it fit? That's all right. Just as far in as you can get it, and just set fire to it and run out. The poor Kathleen riding on this thing. So these guys are gonna take the fall for this. They'll be arrested. I'm over here like nothing happened. Is that it? Okay. All right. We got to do a commercial. We'll count up the dead and the wounded, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the program, ladies and gentlemen. We have a good show for you tonight. Chuck Norris, former friend of Bruce Lee, is here, and Jimmy Walker is with us tonight, and also a little tiny young lady. She's 4 years old and has won literally hundreds of... There she is right there. Isn't she cute? She has her little pink outfit on there. She has won several beauty contests and beauty pageants. What are they doing now, Hal?
They're about comedy. Here, take it. Yeah.
Well, geez, nicely put, Hal. There's Jack. Was that Jack smoking? Is somebody smoking on the show? Oh, yeah. So they still have that dress code in effect over there, I guess. Yeah, that's the show I couldn't get on. I was willing to put a tie on and go over there. They got a guy in a sweatsuit. Look at this. And he's smoking. He's got a butt going. Okay.
We have a wonderful show,
But
wonderful
seriously,
special.
You've seen Bryant on the Today Show, right?
I haven't seen
He's
him
a
recently.
balloon.
Is he plumping up a little
You
bit?
know what it is, and I can't really blame him because that hour of the morning, they get in there like 4 in the morning or whatever, and all they have to do is eat donuts
Just
till the show goes
donuts,
on. My first guest tonight made his film debut fighting Bruce Lee in Return of the Dragon. Since then, he has starred in such films as Firewalker and Delta Force. This is his best-selling book right here. It's called The Secret of Inner Strength. Please welcome Chuck Norris. Chuck, come on out here. Chuck Norris. You've had a career that people might consider as the American dream, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so it turned out very well for you. What were you like as a kid? Were you a tough guy? Were you a punk? Were you a rowdy, troublemaker?
Very quiet and shy.
Yeah.
Extremely. Extreme.
Then how did you become interested in martial arts? Did you have trouble? Were you pushed around and stuff? Were you bullied?
No, actually, when I went in the service and I went to Korea, that's when I got exposed to it for the first time. When I went to Korea, I only heard of judo, so I jumped into a judo class in base. In the second week in the training, I broke my shoulder. So
In the class? You broke
yeah, in the
your
class,
shoulder?
yeah. So I'm walking out in the village a couple days later, just sightseeing. And as I'm walking through the village, I look up kind of a knoll, and I see these heads popping up. I look up and I wonder what's going on up there. So I walk up on the knoll, and here's these Koreans jumping up in the air, doing these fantastic kicks. And I was mesmerized by their ability. But they looked mean, so I was afraid to go over and talk to them. So I went back to the base and asked my judo instructor what it was, and he told me it's called Tong Soo Do, now it's called Taekwondo.
Yeah. Now, what's the difference? There's a lot of these disciplines. Judo is what, essentially?
Judo is like wrestling. It's grabbing and throwing each other.
Taekwondo?
Taekwondo is the Korean word for karate. Karate is a Japanese word. Then Kung Fu is a Chinese word. So each one has their own name.
But it's essentially those three, and they're all kind of a mixture of each
Yeah,
other?
then they're all offshoots from there.
And what is golf? What is that idea?
I know nothing about that one.
And you were recently at the White House, huh?
Yeah, last Thursday, yeah.
Now, how did that happen? Were you angling for an invitation, or did it just in the mail one day come to the White House?
No, I was here in New York on my book tour, and I got a call saying I'd been invited to the White House Thursday.
Now, were you surprised by that?
Shocked, more than surprised. I was shocked. And anyway, so
Who was the dinner for? I hate to keep interrupting here, but
the Egyptian president.
And they put together just a group of interesting Americans to attend these functions, I guess. Is that how that works?
Yeah, it was from everyone, you know, everyone, business,
all walks
mostly
of life.
business people. There wasn't too many politicians there. I sat at the table with George Shultz. My wife sat with George Bush. And it was funny because George Bush is these little thin bowls, you know, the wash things you put your fingers in to wash. He had a little plant in there. And so George Bush says, well, this is some plant. My wife says, no, it's a petunia, George.
Right.
George says, no, it isn't, Diane. It's a, whatever he called it. She says, no, it's a petunia.
Yeah.
He says, why are you doing this? He says, I just want to argue with you. He says, look, haven't I argued enough with Dan Rather this week? And she says, look, if you say it's a petunia, I'll vote for you.
Yeah. Did you get a sense that these people actually knew who you were? Did you get the feeling that Ronald Reagan has seen your films and stuff?
I don't think he has. I don't think.
Well, didn't you feel kind of silly being there then?
Well, I'll tell you, silly?
Yeah, I mean, I would feel like a complete jerk if I get an invitation in the mail and it says, Nancy and I would like you to come and have dinner with us. Now, I know for a fact the guy has never seen this show. So I'm sitting there and, you know, he thinks, I don't know, I'm on ESPN or something.
Well, truthfully, I don't even know why I got invited. You know, I called my wife up in the Caribbean. I said, look, we've been invited to the White House.
Right.
And so meet me in D.C. And why they invited me, I don't even know.
What'd you have to eat?
We had veal.
Yeah. And what, like a big 8-course meal or something?
Oh, yeah. You know, I was watching to figure out which fork and all this. You know, it's real fancy kind of thing. And so I'm watching
Who cut the president's meat? Oh, no. Long time ago, you were on our morning show.
That's right.
Was that before you were in films, or were you doing films?
No, I was doing films. I just started my career, actually.
What did you do before you got into the films? Because you didn't really set out to be an actor.
No, I had karate schools.
Yeah.
What got me into films, I had sold my school to a conglomerate with the expectations of going national, and it didn't work out that way, and we went broke. And so I lost all my schools, so I was teaching private lessons to supplement, you know, to pay for my bills.
This is in Southern California?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Steve McQueen was one of my students, and he said, well, what are you going to do now that you don't have any karate schools anymore? I said, I don't know. He said, well, have you thought about acting? I said, man, I haven't done a high school play. Right. And he said, well, acting's more than just having experience as an actor's presence. And he said, I don't know if you have it or not, but you should give it a try. And I said, well, what do I do? He said, well, you take acting classes. Yeah. So I called up the acting schools, and they're expensive. You know, they run $500 or $600 a month. Yeah. And I didn't have any money. So I started looking through the yellow pages, and I found an acting school I could go on my GI Bill. That's how I started.
No kidding?
Yeah.
What kind of guy was Steve McQueen?
He was a great guy. He was, actually what you saw on the screen was kind of his persona.
Yeah.
You know?
He was great. He talk about presence. He had that presence.
He really did. You know, we did
Was he a hard guy? Was he a tough guy? I mean,
I got to tell you a funny story about him. You know, he was married to Allie McGraw when I was teaching him, and Steve was real stiff. He was real tight. And so Alex said, why don't you guys come to my stretching class? She went to a stretching class in Beverly Hills, and so we decided to go down there.
I love these stories. A stretching class in Beverly Hills.
So we go down there, and here's Susan
People
Day.
here in New York are eating tires for lunch, and in Beverly Hills, they got stretching classes.
So we go in there, here's Susan Day and Shirley Jones and Allie McGraw. And this guy, instructor walks up with two little skimpy little things about this big, and he says, put these on. One was pink and one was blue, and I grabbed the blue one. So Steve got the, so we walk into a dressing room, and it, you know, like these things, you know, I mean, that much. And we put them on, and Steve says, no way am I going out like this. I said, look, Steve, go out there like we've been doing it for 10 years. No one will notice. So he says, okay. So we walk out of the room. If he walks out, I grab the door, and I pull the door, and I hold it shut. So he can't, and he's pulling on the door, but I won't let him in. So finally, he walks out there, and I hear the women laughing up the storm, right? They're laughing. So after about 2 minutes, it finally subsided. So I walk out there, and he's sitting down talking to them, and he's giving me the meanest look.
Yeah, that's funny. He's one of he's one of those guys you would wish he was still around, because it would be interesting to see how he aged on screen. You know, just what kind of a character he would become. Because
he got tougher. He was a tough karate guy.
Yeah,
he was one of the toughest students I worked on.
How many films have you made?
17.
And these things do huge business, don't they?
Pretty good, yeah.
Yeah. Like, what was the most money you generated?
Probably Missing in Action 1 was my biggest film.
How much dough?
Domestically, probably around 40 million.
40 million. And what did
that's, you know, compared to Stallone, it's not very much, but it's...
What did it cost to produce?
It cost about $6 million.
Oh, my. That's a pretty good return there, isn't it? Yeah.
For Canon Films, not me.
Yeah. What was your first speaking part?
Oh, I did a movie, 1968. I did a film called The Wrecking Crew with Dean Martin. I was still fighting. I just won the world title, and the producer of the Dean Martin, Matt Helm series, was in the audience, and he walks up to me and said, introduced himself, said, "Would you like to be in a Dean Martin movie?" I go, "Yeah." You know, I got really excited. So he says, "Okay, well, come by and get the script." So I get the script, and I got one line. And the scene is, I'm bodyguarding Nigel Green and Elkie Summer, and Dean Martin walks into this bar, and as he's walking down the aisle, I'm supposed to jump up in front of him and say, "May I, Mr. Helm?" It means I want his gun. So I start trying to figure out this line. For 2 weeks, I'm saying, how should I say this? Should I say it cool or, you know, aggressive or whatever? So the day of the shoot, the cameras start rolling. He walks in. All of a sudden, I can feel my body tensing up and my neck muscles starting to tighten. Yeah. And just as he walks up to me, I jump. I go, "May I, Mr. Helm?" My voice tightened up and nothing came out. Of course, they could care less.
Anyway, you've done pretty well in spite of that. The Secret of Inner Strength. This is your own story right here. Oh, there's... Get him! Chuck, go out there and drop him, just like with a kick or something. Just go ahead and kick him in the... Just don't kill him, just like in the sternum. Just boom!
Like touch.
Yeah, just bruise him up a little bit.
Well, Dave, I was on the show.
Yeah, I know you were on the show. Anyway, good luck. Good to see you again, Chuck. Thanks for coming back. We got to pause here for station.
I don't got time for that. I don't got time for that. Hey! All right. Thanks for joining us, folks. Welcome to the show. Look at this. Listen to this right here. 1/10 of our nation's engineers, our carpenters, our construction laborers, these are the sweetie boys you see up on the scaffoldings building our skyscrapers, are women. They're up there polishing their nails, combing their hair, they're trying on their clothes. And I gotta tell you something, buddy, I don't want to be on the 25th floor when it comes crashing down because Mommy wasn't pounding in the 2x4, she was powdering her nose. Women on construction next on the Chris Elliott Jr. Show. All right, we've got quite a topic for you tonight, folks. This one's hot. Joining me at home base is the Vice President of the Northeast Regional Chapter of the Coalition for Equal Opportunities for Women. This is a nonprofit, oh, I love that, a nonprofit organization, folks. We know how nonprofit that is. Right out of my pocket, nonprofit. Organization right here in Secaucus, New Jersey. Say hello to David Letterman, folks. All right, give him a chance, give him a chance, give him a chance. All right, let's hear it, David Letterman. What's your side? Women in construction, let's hear it.
Well, first of all, Chris, I've never heard of this organization before. Secondly, we're not in Secaucus. And thirdly, have you had a dermatologist look at those things on your face?
Wait a second, buddy.
Biopsied.
Are you saying I don't know how to make love to my wife?
No, that's not what I'm saying. And it seems like you may be a little defensive on this point.
All right, I'll be defensive just for the sake of argument. Here's my defense. Why don't we take all the Alan Alders and the Phil Donahues and every other pretty boy who wants to dress up in Mommy's clothes and send them back to Russia, back where they belong, back to the Ruskies.
I think we may be getting off the track here just a little bit, Chris.
All right. Your opinion is worth just about as much as I paid for it, fella. Nothing. Okay. Let's go over here to our loudmouth and see what the youth of America have to say. Go ahead, pal. Women in construction.
Yeah, Chris, I was wondering if you could ask Dave when he's going to do supermarket finds again. I always get a big kick out of that.
He wants to know when you're going to do supermarket finds.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much. It is kind of a popular segment on the show, and we probably in about 2 weeks. Thank you.
Right,
it should be in the newsletter. Check that.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, well, that's a good point. I'm happy to hear an opposing point every now and then. Go ahead, pal. What do you have to say?
I was just wondering, Chris, that Marlon Brando character you did, pretty much, you ran that right into the ground. Do you plan on doing that with this new character?
You stinking college bum! Get your puking butt out of here! Get him out! Get your Pavel puking butt out! 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 We'll be right right back.
No, I'm sorry, Chris. We're out of time. We're not coming back. This is
All
it.
right, then let me summarize right now. Women in construction, what should we do with them? I've got an idea. Let's put them on a barge. Give them all the nail polish, all the hairbrushes, and all the girly feminist magazines they can read. Send them out into the ocean and let them build the tallest damn skyscraper they can. At least us men won't have to stand underneath them. Good night.
Okay, we'll be right back, folks, with Tina Brocious. Little